Interview Connections TV. I'm your host, Jessica Rhodes, and I am here with a very special guest at PodFest. I'm here with Ralph Rivera. Ralph, what is your tip for podcasters and guest experts?
Well, I think that we have a predisposition for over-planning, and I find that sometimes you just need to find a way to feel comfortable with being in the moment and finding the beautiful, elegant chaos in the conversation that you're having. I was in a presentation not a couple minutes ago, and one of the things that the speaker said was, if you have a whole list of questions, feel free to not ask any of those questions, because sometimes as the conversation evolves on its own, you will find the pacing, you will find a comfort level, and I think a lot of people don't feel comfortable with just going off the reservation and having, just a good experience as opposed to staying on script. So that would be my biggest advice for speakers and people who are hosting shows with guests.
So go off script.
Yeah, get comfortable with elegant chaos. That's what I would say.
Awesome.
It's a great thing to happen, to have an unexpected journey happen with your guests. And I find that with my guests, when we're talking to people on our podcast, whenever we say to them, "Hey, here's what we're going to talk about," and then we talk about that, those shows are never as free-spirited and enjoyable to our audience than the conversations where we just don't know what the direction is. We might know where we're going to start, but we don't know where we're going to end up. And those are great conversations. I love those conversations.
And what is that podcast that people can hear?
So by the time this gets released, hopefully we'll have ours up because we've rebranded as
3 days.
As some people have done. Tuesday, okay. So some people have rebranded their podcast, like Interview Connections, and we did the same thing. So our podcast is called Carbon-Based Business Units, and we're launching a new podcast called This Podcast Life.
Yeah. Where can people get it?
Good question. So carbonbasedpodcast.com and also thispodcastlife.com. And of course, if you have a podcatcher, just go ahead and do a search for either of those and we'll pop up.
Well, thank you for joining me, Ralph. Guys, if you want to get my book, you can get it for free at interviewconnectionsbook.com.
I have an autographed copy.
Yes. What does it say?
Am I allowed to say what it says? So I have a little fetish where I know a lot of people that have written books, and over the years they all always give me a book. So I have a copy of Jessica's book, and I said, "Will you autograph it for me?" And she said, "Yes, I'll autograph it." And she said, "What do you want me to say?" And I said, "Well, I want you to say what all of my author friends say, which is, Dear Ralph, go yourself, love, Jessica." So that's what my book says.
Thank you for joining me, everyone. We'll see you next Tuesday.
See ya.